everyone! So we're in the middle of October, actually drawing towards the end of October at this point. And October, for those of you who don't know, is sometimes referred to as Preptober for those of us who do NaNoWriMo in November. So today I want to discuss a little bit about what I've been doing for Preptober this year and how that whole process goes. I'm not necessarily an expert on this subject because this is the first year that I've ever done NaNoWriMo, but I thought I could talk about it anyway. The first thing that you have to decide is what story you're going to be working on in November for NaNoWriMo. Whether you're going to be doing a brand new story or fixing up an old novel that you just haven't gotten perfect yet or whatever. Whatever you decide to do, you have to choose a book to work on in November. I haven't published all of the books yet, but I have finished writing my Robin Hood series and my dystopian trilogy. So for NaNoWriMo this year, I decided to go with a completely new story. It's not necessarily brand new characters because I'm still following the same characters from my Robin Hood series, but it's a brand new story. It's not the Robin Hood series, it's a new set. It's going to follow Robin Hood and his gang after King Richard dies and when Prince John becomes the King of England, because Prince John is not exactly a fan of Robin Hood and his gang, so everything that ensues after Prince John becomes king is not good. After you decide whether you're going to be doing a new story, an old story, which new story, the next thing that you do is brainstorming and outlining, working on character profiles. You just prep your novel. This stage either has a lot or a little, depending on whether you like to have full outlines and everything planned out, or if you just like to have an idea and write as you go. I used to be someone who would never do outlines and would just make up the story as I went along. Like I had an idea in my head of where it was going, but I just let the story happen. More recently, however, I have gotten into making outlines, doing all my character profiles, and making character arcs before I even start, and doing so much prep work. Sometimes the story still changes once I start writing it. I'm definitely flexible. I don't have to stick to the outline and all of my other research and prep work and whatever, but I feel that my stories have more direction and less useless material that has nothing to do with the plot when I plan it all out. So I am now a planner. I didn't used to be, but I am now. So what I have been doing in this wonderful month of Preptober, I started with outlining my novel, which at the moment is being called Return to Sherwood. That might change. I don't think it will change, but titles tend to just do their own thing. So I outlined Return to Sherwood, and then I spent about a week working on character arcs. I didn't necessarily have to do character profiles because I already knew these characters from the Robin Hood series. However, it's been a few years, so I updated their character profiles, and then I spent a week just doing character arcs for like what their emotional journey is going to be through this novel, what they're going to learn through this novel. So I made character arcs for all 15 of my main and secondary characters. I have spent a lot of time doing research because this is a historical novel. It is roughly based on the legends of Robin Hood, which isn't necessarily historical. But since I'm not doing the Robin Hood legend, since I've already done that, and I'm just using those characters in an actual time period setting, things that actually took place, I've been doing research so I actually know what I'm talking about when I write that story. I absolutely love doing research for my historical novels. It is so much fun. So depending on whether you like to plan or not, this stage of Preptober might be busy for you, as it has been for me. Or maybe it's not. Maybe you just do a little brainstorming and work off of that. Other things to be doing during Preptober would be doing writing exercises or like word sprints and things like that, simply because it gets you into writing, because in November, during NaNoWriMo, you're attempting to write 50,000 words in 1 month. So getting yourself into the mode of actually having to write a lot of words at one time is a good idea. I personally haven't actually done a lot of that sort of thing because I write constantly, and so I don't really need practice writing a lot of words in a day. I'm not worried at all about the time frame, and writing a lot in one day to be able to get it done in a month isn't really worrisome either, because I write every day and I write a lot every day, so I'm not having to practice. But not everyone writes as much as I do or as quickly as I do. I write the way I read, which is really fast, but if you don't write that quickly, it would be a good idea to do some of the writing prompts and word sprints and things to get in the habit of writing a lot before you get to November so you're not overwhelmed when you suddenly are having to write almost 2,000 words a day. That's all I've got. I've never done NaNoWriMo before, which consequently means I've never done Preptober before either. So I would say pick the story you're doing, new, old, whatever. Brainstorm, outline, that sort of thing. How much or little you do depends on you, whether you're a planner or not so much. And then do some writing prompts and things of that nature just to get yourself ready for all of the writing that will take place in November. Hopefully you get your book done in November, which is coming on much quicker than it should be. It's almost here! I'm actually really excited because I've never done NaNoWriMo before, so I've really been enjoying this whole process and getting to know the community, NaNoWriMo. It's been fun. Anyway, if you're doing NaNoWriMo, good luck on your stories. Story singular. If you're planning on doing more than one story, that's impressive. Happy writing, everybody!